Hey everybody out there, this is Seto Kaiba, and today for you guys, I'm going to be doing pretty much a deck profile of my Blue Eyes deck using the new Blue Eyes White Dragon support. Now, I know I'm doing this online, well that's because the cards are not here out in the TCG, but there's also some things I want to mention quickly guys, before I get into the deck profile. Number one, every single player that I've met and talked to about Blue Eyes, friends, online, subscribers, everyone, plays the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck differently. Some play it to be a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, or the best way you can build Blue Eyes White Dragon. Some people focus on the vanilla. Some focus more on the alternative dragon and the White Spirit Dragon, running maybe two of these instead of three of them. Some people I've seen run it as a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Some people run it as a Blue Eyes Shining Dragon build. Some people use it as a Malefic build. I've even seen online Blue Eyes Malefic Dragon. Every single player out there right now is playing this deck a little bit differently. Me personally, I stuck to my roots and I made this deck a Blue Eyes centric deck, meaning that we play with Blue Eyes White Dragon, the old vanilla we've come in love, use the standard old plays we're used to with, it's been tried and true for the last since the structure deck came out with Blue Eyes White Maiden, and also throwing in there Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon and White Spirit Dragon. So that's the way I built this deck. Second off, if you have any constructive criticism, feel free to give it to me from what you've tried from playing the deck, but don't just criticize me and say it's a bad deck and don't give me no constructive criticism. I've tried this deck out for the last 2 weeks almost, about a week and a half now, and it works well. It works. It functions. I like it. I showed it a little bit off on stream, and it works well. Third thing is, we're also going to go in depth in this video, so it's going to be a longer video than normal. And we're going to just talk about the different ways to play Blue Eyes, some of the alternative things you could use, why I did not choose them, and why you may want to choose them as a player. Each Blue Eyes player may want to play the deck a little bit differently and cater it to their play style or how they want to take the deck. So there's there. So let me go over the deck and then I'll talk about the deck. So first off, we run the 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, staple in my build because I really love it. I have to play it, and also it works very well. Don't be surprised if you get 2 to 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons out like this off of different sort of plays. It's kind of stupid. Next, we run 2 Alternative White Dragon. A lot of people I see play 3 of this, and granted, I think it's an amazing card and great card, but the problem I've had is it gets kind of cloggy in my hand if I don't have this. And granted, you could search it off Melody of the Awakened Dragons, you can send it for trade-in fodder, but that's kind of a waste. It's a great card, but I like it as a 2 of instead of a 3 of. You could run it as a 3 of, and that's perfectly fine if you want to go that build, but for right now, I'm running it as a 2 of. I used to run it as a 3 of. I'm going down to 2 to test it, and then I may go back to 3 later on in the future. I got months to try this baby out and work it out. Like I said, this is only version 2.5, 3.0. Next, I run 2 White Spirit Dragon. Pretty much everyone I've seen plays 2 White Spirit Dragon. I agree with it. This card's actually really, really good. Pops back row, pops pendulum zones. Do what you need to do. It's very good. I really like this card. Really underrated card, I feel like. And this is definitely, if we don't get alternative Blue Eyes later on, because technically this is a movie promo for the Japanese movie. We have no bloody idea when we're going to get Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. This is not coming out in Shining Victories. This will, this won't. So, granted, you have to play with that mindset in the back of have that in the back of your head that we may not get White Alternative Dragon. Like I said, we don't know when we're going to get that, and we also don't know when we're going to get Priestess with the Eyes of Blue, even though I'm not too keen on the card right now. But yes. Next, I run 2 Bright Star Dragon. This is the card that I keep throwing in the deck and taking out of the deck and replacing it with other things. I can't tell you how many times this card has come in and out of the deck. You don't have to run it. I like it because the fact, like I've said in my videos about Blue Eyes, it's a 19 beat stick, and I really, really need something. Also, it's a dual purpose for another way of targeting Maiden, and Maiden is really the heart and soul of this deck, and it's just another way of doing that. It also helps with rank 4 Exceed plays, Synchro plays, whatever. I may take it out and replace it with other things, like maybe Honest or Red MD or Drag. I don't know yet, but this is up in the air, really. 1 Keeper of the Shrine, I really like the card. Definitely a staple as a 1 of, in my opinion. Next, Ancient White Stone. Playing this card's freaking amazing. The first effect that you can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck is just stupid. It's so stupid. You can bring out white in phase, bring out White Spirit Dragon, pop a back row, if you've gone second or first. Well, second, that is, if you're going second, because my build likes going second, but it can do very well going first. I just like going second because I can use White Spirit and just pop things in the back row for free. But this deck is very powerful, so I do like the Ancient White Stone. This is definitely, I think, in any type of build is going to be a staple as a 2-of. I really, really like the card. The ability to add a Blue Eyes from your graveyard back to your hand makes trade-in 10 times more live, makes the deck super fast. Running the trade-ins, the melodies, and the one-to-ones, and a little bit of everything else with the searching power. In one turn, literally, there's been a couple duels where I just spin through my deck in like 20 cards and like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm only have 20, 15 cards left in my deck. You literally go fast. You just go fast. It's really like a Seto Kaiba type of deck you've seen for the movie. One Priest with the Eyes of Blue. I really, really like this card. I was playing around with Guard of the White Dragon of Blue. You can replace that maybe with the Bright Star Dragon or vice versa. Same thing with Priestess. You could replace it with White Star Dragon if you want to go that route. But this card's really good as a 1-of. You may want to run 2. It's up to you, but it's really good for getting your maidens back, to make your one-to-one plays live, to get your field spell more live. Things of this nature, I find, is very good with this card. This card's really good as a 1-of. I really, really like it. His second effect is not bad either. Next, I run 3 Sage Knight with the Eyes of Blue. I don't know what rarity this card's going to be, but I'm just hoping it's not secret. It could be, but it's a really, really, really good card. I definitely would say Sage Knight is probably the best card for the deck. It helps search out Priest when you want him. It helps search out Maiden when you want him. It can even help search out these two guys down here, him and her, if you want them in the deck as well. But definitely a 3-of. Helps with combo plays. It's another way of triggering Maiden from your hand and just going off. I really, really enjoy it. 3 Maiden, it's going to be staple in any build. It's got to be. But this card's really good. This first effect for being a Stratos for the deck, and the second effect for being targeting, really good. Regeki, because it's Regeki and it helps you OTK and get around problems. 3 Trade-in is definitely a staple in the deck, hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts. Melody of the Weakened Dragons is a card I've bounced back between 2 and 3 of. You could run 2, you could run 3, it's up to you, but I find 3 can be kind of dead and cloggy, but it's a great card, and the fact that you can activate multiple per turn has come up, because it doesn't say you can only activate one of these per turn. You can activate multiple Melody of the Weakened Dragons. I've run into that situation before. It's really good for setting it for graveyard and just doing other things. Book of Moon, offensive and defensive. I like this card. You don't have to run it. You could run other things, but I've always loved the book. 2 Forbidden Lances. You could run Forbidden Lance or run Twin Twister, MST, whatever you prefer. I did try Twin Twister out in the deck, and yeah, it works out well, and it's good, and all those lovely other things. But the problem I found at the end of the day with Twin Twister was I was losing advantage. And granted, it was nice when I could discard a Blue Eyes from my hand to the graveyard to get effects off and whatnot. But the problem I was having with that was, at the end of the day, was I was losing advantage. And then I would draw a trade-in and be dead. So you can go back and forth. I like the Forbidden Lance because we have big monsters and we want to protect them. Silver's Cry, you can run this. I'm not running the I think it's the Divine Dragon Knight Felgrant Reborn card that says you can reborn at level 7. I forget what it's called off the top of my name, even though I talked about it a week ago. But you can run that card, and I would definitely run in it, but we're not going to see that card over here in the TCG until sometime in July or August, maybe September. I mean, it's going to be a long time before we see that structure deck end. So I was just playing with the fact that some of these cards may come out in the spring, but some of these cards are not going to come out like that card I just mentioned, which is an amazing card, don't get me wrong. That's going to be coming out in the Felgrant structure deck. But I'm not running it because I'm not going to see this card in real life for months. But if you want to play this online, then definitely put 2 of those cards in the main deck, or 3 and take out the Silver's Cry. Definitely do that. One-to-one, this is a card that I took out, and I originally ran, then I took out, then I put it back in, and I haven't regretted putting it back in. It's just stupid how good this card is, because you have you can literally go this, Stratos, search, 1-to-1, pop, draw 2, Silver's Cry sometimes, just stupid plays. I really like it. You don't have to run it, but it just makes the deck faster. Light Mausoleum. I was thinking of running Terraforming with this deck, but I didn't because the fact of the matter was I always seem to draw this card because get this card when I needed it because I was really the deck is very fast. The way you just have to learn to play it properly. But you could run a Terraforming over a Bright Star Dragon, but I definitely love this card. The first effect's good. The second effect's very good. The third effect to get search out Burst Stream of Destruction. You can run Burst Stream of Destruction, replace it with a Bright Star Dragon if you wish. And Burst Stream of Destruction is a good card, but I'm kind of muscle manus about it. For your trap lineup, one bottomless, three bottomless. I wish. Three solemn notices. Depending upon when this card gets limited, we'll just add other different traps in the deck probably. But I wanted to leave room for some traps to stop your opponent from making pushes and counter pushes on you. And the warning, the solemn notices, and the bottomless. So literally the best card is going to be trap wise. I feel like in the game, and I ran those cards. Extra deck, your two Azure Eyes, your new White Dragon, Spirit Dragon. Cloud Castle, haven't gone into this, but I have once, and it was really fun. Starter Spark Dragon, really good card with Dragon's Mind, but I like running it for other reasons, to target Maiden and whatnot. Armored Deities, it's another light attribute if you want to run Honest in the deck. Dark Matter Dragon, 62 to go into Dark Matter. Heretic Seer Dragon, Overlord of Heliopolis, can help just deal with boards in general and board wiping. I really like it. Felgrand, staple. For rank 4s, we run Dark Rebellion, 101. Burst Twin Dragon. I do go into this card sometimes. You can run it as a 2-up, but I just prefer 1. And Castel. So, that is the deck, guys, in general. I pretty much explained the deck. So let's talk about other ways you can play the deck. And some things I've talked about, so you can tweak my brain and think about what I'm thinking. I tried Red MD in the deck, and I really liked it at first. But as more cards got announced and new things came out, excuse me, I pretty much said Red MD is not needed. And I took him out. And the deck runs better because he's out of the deck. He's a great card, don't get me wrong. And if you want to run Red MD in the deck, go right ahead and do it. But the problem is you're going to find yourself saying, I don't want to banish my big blue dragons. That's what I found. The third alternative, you could run this, like I said, but it's up to you. Honest is really good in the deck. Considering how many light attributes you have in the extra deck, including Armored Deities, including number 62, including Heliopolis, Felgrant, this guy, which is stupid, things of that nature. I have considered taking the Bright Star Dragons out and adding the Honest, or doing something of that nature, maybe taking out the Wonder-Wands and adding the Honest. It's completely up to you. Guard is a good card. I don't get me wrong about it. He's a great card, but I found Priest was a little bit better. You could take out the Bright Star Dragons, but he's just not enough attack for me to put in the deck. He's a good card, but I find Priest is more better for me, and I would search the Priest out more than I would search him out. But you could run him. Priestess, a lot of you guys are probably going to say, why are you not running Priestess in the deck? It's such a good card. Well, the thing is, I personally found that this was a better card than this card. That Melody of the Awakened Dragons was did the exact same thing as Priestess with the Eyes of Blue, but was better because it did not take up a normal summon. Granted, you do have Mausoleum, but this would help get dead cards out of your hand, get them in the graveyard, make your Reborn-esque cards, your Felgrand cards, or the Silver's Cry, more live. So, yes. Like I said, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. If you want to run Dragon's Mirror in the deck, go right ahead. You can easily make this. 1-for-1 I took out eventually because I found I didn't need it anymore. This really just replaced 1-for-1 and made it it was a better overall card. Burst Stream of Destruction, like I said, you could add this in the deck if you wanted to. You could add another Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. You could add another Melody if you wanted to, like I said before. Soul Charge is something I was running in the deck for a long time, but I found that it was either dead or I never needed it. It was either that. It was either I didn't need it or I never went into it. Dragon's Bind. Now, this is something I'm going to talk about quickly, and I'm probably going to wrap this video up. Dragon's Bind is a great, great, great card. Do not underestimate this card with Starter Spark Dragon. It's a great card. It really is. It's like it's like what we used to do what I used to do back in the day with Hunters. When Starter Spark Dragon came out, the manga, and Vandy's was still at 3 for a while, for about a year then. I pretty much would go Mahunter, Prisma, make Starter Spark Dragon, flip up the Vandy's, target the Vandy's, protect the Vandy's for the Starter Spark Dragon, and just sit there. My opponent can't do anything, just poke him for 2,500 each turn. It's the same exact thing. The only downside is you have to build this deck more to cater towards Dragon's Bind. You have to build this deck more with the Dragon's Bind in mind and play the deck a little bit differently than you would here. So with my playing style, I liked it, but I felt like I needed to cater the deck more to Dragon's Bind. Make the deck revolve around Dragon's Bind a little bit more and have the Dragon's Bind in mind. But you could easily take some cards out and put that in there. But the deck, like I said, still testing it. It's still in its very early stages, but I do like the deck. Things are definitely going to change. This is not the final build. Like I said earlier, we don't know when some of these cards are going to come out necessarily. We know things like probably, Ancient White Stone, White Spirit Dragon, the Sage Knight, the Mate, and the Mausoleum, are going to come out, probably in the next set after Bosch. But we don't necessarily know when Alternative Dragon's going to come out because this is a movie promo. We don't necessarily know when Priestess is going to come out. We also do not know when Burst Stream of Destruction, Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon is going to come out because I believe that's another movie type of promo. It's not going to be necessarily coming out of the main set. So it could be almost a year before we see these cards. Not to include also that we don't know, the only cards we know for a fact that are going to be coming out in the next set. White Spirit, Sage, to some extent, Mausoleum, Blue Eye Spirit. And the Dragon Feldbrand spell card, that's not going to come out, guys, till probably sometime late to mid next year. Probably September, I'm going to take a guess, maybe August of next year. That's a long ways away. The game's going to completely change by then. We'll have another Tier 1 deck besides Pepe, probably. But I don't know. Do I think Blue Eyes is going to be meta? No, I do not think Blue Eyes will be meta. But I think it'll be a fun, good, solid deck to play with for fun. And definitely, you could probably take it to a locals and talk with it. Definitely, especially if somebody doesn't know what the heck they're facing, or you're a different type of build, and each build is different, so there's an advantage in that. But that's all I'm going to talk about with Blue Eyes, guys. Tell me what you think down below. I would definitely talk to you guys down in the comments section about this deck. But till next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. I'll see all of you guys next time. Go Blue Eyes freaking White Dragon.